Vice President of Sales with Election Systems and Software. I'm actually a North Carolina resident, born and raised in Davidson County, which is just up the road, not too far from here, and live in Raleigh. And we're very excited to, as an ES&S representative, have our latest voting system now certified in North Carolina. We can actually sell it here. With me we have Will Wesley. He's going to introduce himself here in just a minute as he does part of the demonstration. We also have Owen Andrews, President of Printellect, and Chris Andrews. They'll talk a little bit about themselves in a minute. Before we get into the equipment demo, I do want to talk a little bit about ES&S. So I think you asked a question just a minute ago. ES&S is currently the vendor in North Carolina, the only vendor for all 100 counties. We are the largest elections company in the U.S. We have 550 employees, headquartered in Omaha, Nebraska. There's 14 states that use ES&S exclusively, just like North Carolina does. And as far as this system goes, and we're going to show you, we have sold it to 1,200 jurisdictions across the U.S., sold over 70,000 of these units. The entire state of South Carolina just purchased this system for all voters. Beyond that, we have New York City uses our precinct scanner. We have Indianapolis, Indiana, state of Maryland, Louisville, Kentucky, state of Delaware, most of Arkansas, several counties in Tennessee. Nashville just had their first use on this system. But anyway, the reason I bring that up is this system, when we brought it to North Carolina, North Carolina was the third state we brought it to for certification. By the time we got certified here, we were certified in 40 states. This system has been used all over the place. Any type of post-election audit that is occurring across the U.S., this system's been through it. It's probably been the most tested system that we've ever made, the most scrutinized system we've ever made. And every type, like I said, pretty much every state that uses this system does some type of post-election audit, whether it's a risk-limiting audit or some type of hand count audit, like North Carolina does. So the system's been tested through that. It always comes out clean in these audits. We're very excited about that. And let me turn it over to Owen and talk a little bit about Printellect.
Okay, thank you. I'm Owen Andrews. I own Printellect, which is based in New Bern, North Carolina, with offices in Raleigh. We have 56 employees in New Bern. We have 26 in Raleigh. And if you look on our little map over there, it kind of shows you where we either have offices or we have some of our first or sales and service. So we're all over the place. As most of you know, we've got all 100 counties. We've upgraded somewhere in the neighborhood of 55 plus to our DS200 system from their M100 system. So we're very excited to be here again. I am not a salesperson, and they don't like me talking to customers much. So I'm excited to be able to tell you that I'm a North Carolina small business owner. We have been partners with ES&S for 16 years now, and we were the vendor of choice, obviously, in 2006, along with ES&S. We made a commitment to all of these counties in this room at that time that we would sell you and support your equipment for 10 to 15 years. Well, it's 14 years later. I'm standing here and saying we're still supporting the equipment that you have. We made that promise. We've kept it. I will tell you that one of our advantages is that our equipment that we're showing you here today is built to last another 15 years. Today's world of technology, it sounds a little strange, but it differentiates us from the other people in the room. We've got durable, purpose-built, proprietary equipment. You're going to hear others say that we have off-the-shelf equipment, we have printers that you can go replace at Staples, or you can upgrade things as you need to, and you don't need proprietary, purpose-built, heavy-duty equipment. Well, if you want it to last 10 to 15 years, it's going to need to be heavy-duty, and it's going to need to be purpose-built and proprietary so that the vendor, ES&S, can support it and have parts for it and buy parts that, parts change all the time and chips go away. So they have to procure for long periods of time what they need so that you can keep your equipment for 15 years. This suite of equipment will last another 15 years. ES&S has been in business 40 years. I've been in business 117 years. I'm fourth generation. My son's running around here, Chris, he's fifth generation. So between ES&S and Printellect, you got over 150 years of experience. I would beg you to think about that as you're talking about, or as you're looking at the two other vendors who have, neither one were here in 2006. Ask them about how long they've been in business, ask them where they are, and ask them if their equipment will last 10 to 15 years. If you do, that's what I would be asking. We're pledging once again that our equipment will last that long. We appreciate your business. We're North Carolina folks, employing North Carolina people, paying North Carolina taxes. So keep your business local and keep it with your incumbent. I don't know that we've had an issue in that entire 14 years in any of the counties in here that someone would raise their hand and say, I had a major problem with the ES&S equipment. It hadn't happened, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's all I got to say. Thanks.
All right, now we'll get right into the equipment demo. Will Wesley?
Okay. Well, let me introduce myself. My name is Will Wesley, and I'm the Director of Business Development for Election Systems and Software. I've also served as the Elections Director for the City of Detroit. Kind of important experience I gained there, because it's one thing to be a vendor, and we're on this side of the table, but when you're on the other side of the table, it's a whole different world. You got to deal with pretty much everything from A to Z, when it comes to administering an election. One thing that I learned from that, every election morning, I would get in my car, I'd ride around the city, and I'd go to different precincts. And sometimes you go there and they were struggling to get open, or they weren't open on time. That usually ended up being a nasty paper story, someone said they didn't get the precincts open on time. So with that in mind, one thing that I appreciate about what ES&S has done is that we've done everything we could to make this equipment easy for you to operate. And it's so easy that as a part of this demonstration, I'm not going to be long, it's going to take me maybe about 12, 13 minutes. I'm actually going to show you our equipment. I'm going to start it up for you, show you how to open it, because it's really, really easy and simple to get going, okay? To get this DS200, which is the tabulator, open, it takes approximately 3 to 4 minutes, okay? Today I'm going to show you the DS200 tabulator. I'm going to show you the Express Vote, which some of you know it as a ballot marking device. It's also an ADA device for people with disabilities. And I'm going to show you our high-speed scanner, the DS450, that you would use for like absentees and maybe with recounts. Counts about 30 ballots a minute. Okay? Everybody ready? Yes, sir.
Did your ADA stuff just get certified a few weeks ago?
Yes, I believe when we did the state board meeting. Yeah. And Mac, you did explain how many of these we got in the field.
Yes, we went through all that. Yep.
Yeah, so it's tested. It's not just got certified here, but it's got a lot
We
of
got 9 minutes, so just want to keep
No problem, no problem. Okay, so let's go with the DS200 first. It's going to take approximately 3 or 4 minutes to show you how this opens. There's 4 steps to opening the DS200. Step number 1, in the very back of the DS200, there's a door. So your poll worker will come back here. We open up this door. They pull out the plug, and we're going to plug it in. Okay, step number 2. We're going to open up the clamshell. That's a protective lid that protects the tabulator. And you lift up the lid on the tabulator. That's all you need to do to turn it on. It has no power buttons that you have to reach around and try to find in awkward places. It's going to boot up. It's going to take approximately, again, 3 minutes for it to boot up. While it's booting up, let me show you some other things about the ballot box itself. There's a flat key that operates all of the locks on the ballot box. On the front of the ballot box here, you see there's a couple doors. This top door is an emergency bin or auxiliary bin. It's when something happens to the tabulator, you want people to keep voting on paper. You open up this slot, close the door back, and as they fill out their ballot, they can actually slide it in this compartment, which is separate from the main compartment. The main compartment, the larger door, actually contains a ballot box inside a ballot box. This particular ballot box was actually designed for a jurisdiction that didn't allow people to actually touch the ballots. So when it's inside and as ballots are cast, they actually funnel into this ballot box. So at the end of the night, your poll worker will simply close this lid. They can take this same flat key, they can lock it on both ends, you can put a seal on both ends. And because this is probably going to be heavy, it's like luggage, you can actually roll it out to the car and not have to deal with the weight of those ballots. Okay? This will hold approximately 2,000 ballots, and down here the hand-marked paper ballots, it'll hold over 4,000 in the lower part. Okay. Okay, so step one, we plugged it up. Step two, we just lift up the lid. Step three, this is a confirmation screen where the poll worker would actually confirm that the right precinct is programmed on this particular tabulator. If it is the correct precinct, poll worker simply hits open polls. At that point, it's going to automatically print your zero reports. However many you program it to print, automatically prints those. So in the meantime, while it's printing, slide this over a little bit, the express vote, to get it up and running, there's a side door right here that you would open with the same round key. There's a toggle switch that says off on. They simply open up this door, hit the toggle switch to on, takes it approximately 3 minutes for it to come on, type in a password on the screen, and you're ready for your first voter. So it's very, very simple, nothing complicated about that. Back to the tabulator. We're on step number 4. Step number 4, if you don't need any more reports printed, you hit go to voting mode. At this point, you are ready for your first voter. So those 4 simple steps, anything you want to add?
No, I'm just saying, we are training, I know a lot of you all have iVotronics. We have, all across the country, people are replacing our iVotronics with this system. Poll workers literally will give us an ovation because it's so easy when they go through the training class, so simple. Literally, as Will showed, you plug it in, you lift the screen, it turns on, prints your zero tape. The ballot marking device is just one switch to turn it on. It's so much easier to open the polls in the morning, and closing is just as simple. Our poll worker instructions is 1 page, open, and the back is closed. 4 steps all for both of them.
Okay, I'm going to run 3 ballots through to show you what you'll experience on this. Then we're going to actually do a ballot on the express vote, talk about the 450, and I think, unless you have questions, we'll be done. First ballot I'm going to run through is a blank ballot. So there's nothing marked, and we particularly look for blank ballots if we think a voter has maybe circled the name instead of filling in the oval. That happens a lot. But the machine will check it, and it will let them know. Big clear message for the voter to read. Actually, I read in the overvoted ballot first, so we're doing it kind of out of order. In the case of an overvoted ballot, it tells the voter the name of the contest that they overvoted. It tells them how many they actually circled and how many they are allowed to circle. So it's giving them information for them to make an informed decision. And they'll have a choice. They can return the ballot or they can cast it. If they return it, in the case of an overvote, you go back to the table, you got to spoil it, they give you another ballot, and you can try again. If you cast it, it doesn't count the overvote, and it drops in the ballot box. Okay. I believe this is a blank ballot. So you get a big message telling you that it's a blank ballot. Now, if they circle the names instead of filling in the ovals, they can return it, fill in the ovals, and feed it back in, and they're done.
One quick point on this, when we have a message, we keep the ballot in the machine private, so if the voter doesn't understand the message, calls a poll worker over, the ballot's hidden so they don't have to worry about the poll worker seeing how they voted. You'll see with some of the other systems here, they have the ballots hanging out. We think it's important to keep that privacy in case the poll worker needs to assist the vote.
Right. Good point, good point. So same choice, if they want to return it, they can. If they want to cast it, they can. That is a choice. Some people don't want like nobody on the ballot, so they'll cast a blank ballot. Okay, this particular ballot is marked correctly, so it's actually going to feed it all the way through. Notice it's only going to take about 2 seconds for it to actually read it and drop into the ballot box. You can feed this ballot in any orientation, and important to note that it actually takes an image of the front and the back of the ballot. Those are actually stored on the thumb drive. So at the end of the election, not only do you have the results on the thumb drive, you have images of every ballot that was cast, you have a backup stick with all of the images and results on it. In case that first stick is lost, you'll have all of your paper ballots down at the bottom. So you got the results in quite a few places. So this ballot's marked correctly. It's going to say thank you for voting, and it drops it into the ballot box, and the voter is done. Any other questions?
No warning that they undervoted.
You can set it that way up, but
You
no
can.
one in America that we work with warns on undervotes.
Really?
But the system can be programmed up.
That is true, and you know, a blank ballot is an
we got
undervote. It's
1.5
the ultimate.
minutes.
No problem. It's the ultimate undervote, I should say. And I know, real quick, I know in Detroit, we used to have a contest that had 135 candidates, and it was a vote for 37. And on my ballot, I wouldn't check for undervotes or nothing else, but on that contest, I did. Because you never know, man. People will have trouble counting to 35 with that many candidates. So let's vote a ballot on the express vote. When the voter signs in, they're actually given an activation card. This is thermal paper. Both of these printers uses thermal paper, so there's no ink cartridges. Voter would insert it into the express vote. And if you use iVotronics, everybody use iVotronics here? The touch screens? Okay. The experience of voting on it is very similar to what you vote on your iVotronic. It activates the ballot, and you would make your selections. It won't allow you to overvote. Perform just like the iVotronic. And if you want to do a write-in, you can actually type in the write-in. It'll print it out on the card. If you want to skip a contest, you're allowed to do that. And again, you come to the review page. Exclamation point tells you that that contest is not fully voted. If you need to change your mind, because still there's nothing printed on this card yet, you simply touch it, change your mind, it takes you back to the review page. When you complete it with your review, you hit print card. At that point, all of the selections that I made during that process are going to be printed on this card. Okay? You're going to note that it's going to be printed in English for the purpose of the voter. It's going to be printed in barcode for purposes of the machine. So all the selections that you made are printed on there. In the contest that I didn't make a selection, it don't leave that space blank. It prints no selection made. So there's no blank spaces for any contest. About the barcodes, real quick. I'm going to let Mac talk for just a second about the barcodes, because that's always been kind of a controversial thing. I'm going to let him explain it, but before you do, let me do this. One thing that we designed with this is that we know there are going to be people that were skeptical about saying English one thing, barcode something else, maybe, right? So we designed it so I created on this machine. If you have more than one machine in that polling place, I can take this over to the other machine. It's actually going to read the barcode, and it's going to display those selections on the screen. Thank you. First, it tells me that there's votes on that card, so it knows that it's not a blank card. When you hit next, it tells you exactly what it read on the barcodes, so you can review. Once you're done with that, hopefully you are satisfied that the English actually matches the barcode.
Correct, yeah. Let me talk a little bit about, and again, we don't care if you want to go hand-marked paper ballots, if you want to use the express vote radiator, you want to use it for all voters. This system's used in every configuration. But I just want to explain how the system works. Hand-marked paper ballots, guess what? Has a barcode as well. There's a barcode around this ballot. When you fill in an oval, it doesn't read the word Bulldog. No system you guys are going to see today reads English on paper. So what happens if you fill in an oval on a hand-marked paper ballot? Again, it doesn't, if you choose Bulldog, it doesn't read Bulldog. What it does, it's going to look over here and see that you're at column G, row 39 equals Bulldog. So when the machine scans it, it's going to see G39, and the machine knows that equals Bulldog. Here, if you choose Bulldog, this barcode, if you scan the barcode, it says G39. So it goes into the machine reads G39, that equals Bulldog. The system's tested that way. There's pre-election testing that has to be done in a public test to make sure that's set up correctly. And then after the election's over with, these can be hand counted, they can be audited. These can be hand counted, they can be audited. They're handled exactly the same way. The programming works the same way. So we just want to make sure you understand that's the way the barcode works. And I also want to reiterate, there's no system in here that reads English off paper. They all convert it to some type of barcode or some type of grid for the machine to understand.
Okay, so this ballot that I just created can be read by the tabulator as well. Okay? And the voter would walk over, there's a little slot on the top, there's a guide, so it goes in straight. They can put it in any orientation, and it's going to read it just like it read the hand-marked paper ballot. It's going to say thank you for voting, and it drops it in the ballot box. Very simple process for the voter. Okay, last thing we have here, this is our high-speed scanner. Again, that's primarily going to be used for counting of absentees Maybe if you do a recount, I don't think there's any central counties in North Carolina, but it's actually designed to count ballots at a high speed. You can take the ballots, a stack of ballots, they can be mixed up, it really doesn't matter what orientation they're in. You simply put the stack on here, and once you put the stack on, you hit start. It's going to actually count the ballots at a rate of about 90 ballots a minute, and it's going to sort them. In this top tray are going to be ballots that it could not read for some reason. Something's wrong with that ballot. The middle tray would be for write-ins, and the bottom tray would be for any ballots, all the ballots that are marked correctly, and they found no issue with it. Now, it is totally programmable where you can actually put whatever you want. Program the write-ins to go in the middle, you can program the write-ins to go in the bottom. Whatever you need, you can change it within minutes. So as you can see, it's pretty quick. It actually gives you a summary of what it did, and you can make a decision at that point. Am I happy with that batch? Do I want to save it? Or do I want to start over, cancel it, and do it again?
Let me add one more thing about the high-speed scanner. We have the 450. We also have a faster one called the 850 that has been used for a while in North Carolina. This can also be used for risk-limiting audits. So now a lot of you all will be moving from electronic DRE voting machines to a paper-based system. With our system, whether it's hand-marked paper ballots or the ballots marked by the ballot marking device or a combination of both, if you would like, you could run every one of those ballots through the high-speed scanner. You could do a risk-limiting audit with this as well. This machine can be set up to spit a unique number on each ballot that scans through, and then you can go through a process of looking at those images and verifying that the actual image with that number matches what was scanned on the scanner. So a lot of people use these for risk-limiting audits. They're great for if you have a countywide recount. You can run all your ballots through here in quick order. And it's also used primarily for absentee ballots that are sent in by mail.
One last thing. This does have a hard drive. It's a 1 terabyte hard drive, so it's very, very huge. I mean, it's huge. It'll store a lot of images. So if you got a big number of ballots you got to count, no problem. It's designed to handle that. Any questions?
Express vote store.
This is not a tabulator, so it doesn't count anything. It doesn't store any data. It's a BMD, ballot marking device. So it basically allows the voter to make selections, and it prints it on the card. That is correct.
Yep, and this would be back at the central office, and this would be, you'd have one of those in every poll, at least one of these in every polling location.
Just
Usually
a big ink
one.
pen.
That's for the parking lot people who are.
It could be. You can pick it up and take it out to curbside if you'd like.
We have booths that can roll it out. You can put it on a booth and roll it out. And another thing real quick, we show it here with the privacy panel. I would say 90% of our customers, whether you have one of these or you have 10 of these in a polling location, put them on tables and put privacy panels around them. But we do have other booths, and in our materials here you can see we have all types of booths and
There's an
stands for
express
them.
vote booth in here specifically.
To understand correctly, for canvassing, we could spot check a particular precinct and a particular race in that precinct at random and hand count it to verify that this thing looks good.
Absolutely, yes. A lot of people do that as part of their post-election audit process.
It's a lot,
Yes.
After every election, it's nothing you guys.
but this is a lot more convenient than the old system. We used to have to hand count if you wanted to go that deep.
The hand counting is required no matter what. So we'll take a paper ballot, whichever system it's produced by, and there will be a hand-to-eye sample count for at least 2 precincts.
We always talk about the need for paper ballots. What's the justification for having this kind of BMD?
Well, some people can't physically mark a paper ballot, so you have to have at least, you're required by law to have one device for someone who can't, an ADA voter basically. So this could be set up, if you're going to have pre-printed paper ballots, hand-marked paper ballots, you would only need one of these in each location. But you could go to a mode where on election day, all voters fill in the oval on a hand-marked paper ballot. But as you all know, for the short turnarounds for one-stop voting, and also it's a lot of work to determine how many ballots to get to every one-stop location before election day. Some people use these as a one-stop mode as well, so that you don't have to pre-print paper ballots before election.
So the voter doesn't take as long doing that.
2 minutes remaining, 2 minutes remaining for this session.
This is the timing of this. We've done a few time studies very similar to the iVotronic. For the time it takes to vote on the electronic voting machine is about the time it takes to vote on here.
In a paper, it's quicker than filling it.
And it depends on the ballot. If it's only 1 or 2 contests, maybe, but it's usually faster.
One thing I forgot, ES&S for the state is bonded. We have a $17 million bond to protect the counties from us going out of business or a redo of an election. So just so you know, you might have heard some talk about the bond. We are fully bonded and have been for over a year now. So it's an extra protection that the General Assembly put in.
How would a software update be accomplished?
Through the thumb drive, it's just a firmware upgrade. So as and it's with our newer systems with these, as soon as we get new versions certified, all of our customers will get the upgrade. You get it included with the purchase, so you don't have to pay extra for it. And literally, Printellect is a local state dealer that goes around and does the maintenance on the equipment. Typically, as they come in and do those maintenance, if there's a new upgrade that's been approved, then they would upgrade the machines. If you need it in a sooner time period before an election or something, we can assist you with that, or we can get you the files to do the upgrade yourself.
Yeah,
but it's just a thumb drive.
Your technician lives in Metal. Glenn Stoudemire. He's been servicing Alamance and others, so he's close. You want to show?
You want to close it down and just we'll show
Okay.
closing.
Okay,
But I
so
think
let's show you how to close it. Can I get a volunteer to close? You can volunteer. There you go. Here you go. Well, here's the catch. I'm not going to tell you how to do it. The only thing I'm going to tell you to do is put the key in there.
If I break it, is it okay since you're not telling me?
Break it, it's okay.
Okay.
It's under warranty.
Okay, so you put the key in. All right, and then open up this door on top. There you go. Hold it.
Close it. Oops, I
It's
screwed it
okay.
up.
No, you didn't. There we go.
Okay, I didn't.
Okay, that's all your poll got to do to close. They open up a door, hit a button that says close polls. Hit close polls on the screen. It's going to automatically print the results tape.
Switch to your next vendor,
And
please.
you're done. So when it's over, you're going to tear off this tape. You're going to pull the thumb drive out. It has the results on it. Hit your ballot box, and you bring all three of those things back to the central location.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We're everywhere, Tom. Need some extras.